Imagine discovering that the real danger to your liver may not come from alcohol, poor diet, or any of the usual suspects, but from something completely invisible. Something that drifts through the air around freshly cleaned clothes hanging in your closet, or lingers in the products used to scrub, polish, and restore the items you touch every day. A danger you cannot see, cannot smell, and would never suspect. Yet it may quietly scar one of the most vital organs in your body while you go about your routine completely unaware. A new wave of research is shaking up long-held beliefs about what truly harms liver health. For years, the conversation has centered around heavy drinking, excess fat in the body, metabolic conditions, and infections. These have always been portrayed as the main pathways to chronic liver damage. That view is now facing a major challenge as emerging evidence points toward a different and far more hidden threat. The culprit is a synthetic chemical commonly called PCE, widely used in dry cleaning and present in a variety of household and industrial products. PCE is a colorless liquid created for one simple purpose: to remove grease. It dissolves oily residues and stubborn stains better than most other substances, which is why it became a favorite of dry cleaners and manufacturers. Over the years, it also made its way into craft adhesives, stain removers, metal cleaners, and other products meant to keep things spotless and shiny. But while it helps remove grime from objects, research now suggests it may do the opposite inside the human body. Instead of cleaning, it may scar. What makes this discovery particularly unsettling is how people typically encounter PCE. Exposure does not always happen at work or around industrial settings. Often it begins right at home. Clothes that have gone through dry cleaning do not release the chemical all at once. Instead, the vapor slowly escapes into the air over time. That means every closet, drawer, or bedroom where freshly cleaned clothes are stored becomes a small release point. In other cases, PCE can find its way into drinking water when spills or improper disposal allow it to seep deep into soil and eventually into groundwater. When scientists examined people who had measurable amounts of PCE circulating in their blood, they found something alarming. Those individuals were far more likely to show signs of significant liver scarring. This type of damage, commonly known as fibrosis, is more than just a warning sign. It marks a serious decline in liver function and can eventually lead to cancer, total liver failure, or even death if it progresses unchecked. One of the most striking observations is that this scarring appeared even in people who had none of the usual risk factors. Many individuals who do not drink, who maintain a healthy weight, or who avoid the lifestyle habits typically associated with liver issues still showed signs of fibrosis when PCE was present in their system. That raises a powerful and unsettling question. How many people are silently developing liver disease from something they never realized they were exposed to? The more researchers looked, the clearer the pattern became. Higher levels of PCE in the blood meant higher odds of dangerous liver damage. The relationship was so consistent that it pointed to a strong, direct influence rather than a coincidence. In other words, the more a person is exposed to this chemical, the greater the threat to their liver. The findings remained unchanged even after accounting for age, background, and education. It is also becoming clear that exposure does not always affect everyone equally. People with higher incomes are more likely to use dry cleaning services, which leads to more frequent contact with PCE-contaminated clothing. On the other hand, those who work inside dry cleaning facilities may face even higher risk because their exposure is constant and more intense. Both groups may unknowingly breathe in vapor that slowly chips away at the health of their liver day after day. The danger of environmental toxins is not new, but PCE stands out because it often hides in plain sight. It has already been labeled a possible cancer-causing agent. Past studies have linked it to bladder cancer, lymph-related disorders, and other diseases. Now liver health joins the growing list of concerns. That is why regulatory agencies in some regions have begun phasing out the chemical and dry cleaning and tightening controls on its use elsewhere. However, regulations take time, and not every country or area has adopted them. PCE can continue to linger in products, in soil, and in the air even after official limits are in place. This raises a troubling possibility. If PCE has been used for decades, how many communities have been exposed without knowing it? How many groundwater sources have been contaminated by spills or leaks that escaped attention? How many households contain clothes or products slowly releasing vapor into the indoor air year after year? The study behind this new discovery drew from a large national survey that tracks health trends across populations. When data from adults were examined, about a small portion of them had detectable levels of PCE. While that number may seem small, the implications are huge, because even low exposure showed a meaningful connection to liver damage. This suggests that the real number of people at risk could be far greater once you consider long-term, repeated exposure from household items or environmental contamination. The notion that invisible chemicals may quietly shape the future of liver health is a powerful one. It challenges the idea that liver disease is always linked to personal habits. It pushes scientists and doctors to rethink how they diagnose and how they interpret unexplained cases. When a patient shows signs of liver dysfunction despite maintaining a clean lifestyle and displaying none of the known risk factors, environmental exposure may be the missing piece of the puzzle. Researchers are calling for much more investigation. If PCE has such a profound effect, what about the countless other synthetic chemicals people encounter every day? Substances found in plastics, paints, solvents, cleaning supplies, and building materials often make their way into the body in tiny amounts over long periods of time. The combined effect of these exposures is largely unknown. Liver cells are incredibly resilient, but even they have limits. When toxins accumulate faster than the liver can filter them out, damage begins quietly, and by the time symptoms appear, the condition is often advanced. Health experts hope that this new wave of research will lead to earlier screening for people who may be exposed to PCE and similar toxins. Detecting fibrosis early can mean the difference between recovery and irreversible decline. The liver has a remarkable ability to heal, but only if harmful exposures stop and the problem is identified in time. By raising awareness, more individuals may choose safer household products, reduce reliance on dry cleaned clothing, or take steps to ventilate spaces where chemical fumes may accumulate. The real lesson behind this emerging discovery is simple but profound. Modern life is full of hidden dangers that were never obvious before. While many substances were created to make life cleaner, easier, or more efficient, some may come with steep biological costs that take years to reveal themselves. Understanding these risks does not mean living in fear. It means being informed, asking better questions, and paying attention to what we bring into our homes and bodies. For now, PCE stands as a clear reminder that the environment around us often plays a greater role in our health than we realize. The more scientists uncover, the more it becomes apparent that liver disease is not always a result of lifestyle choices alone. Sometimes the true threat is a chemical thread woven into the fabric of everyday life, hidden until studies like this pull it into the light. If this opened your eyes, make sure to hit like so more people can learn about hidden dangers around them. Share this video with someone who has dry cleaned clothes at home. It might help them catch a problem early. Subscribe for more deep dives into health, science, and the unseen risks in everyday life. Stay aware, stay informed, and take care of your body. Your health begins with what you do not ignore.